growth, social justice, and the arts. We are an active community and invite everyone to participate in all our activities. To learn more about our events, our church calendar is on our website, uutarpon.org, or we'd be happy to talk with you after the service during coffee hour. We have connection cards available in the pews. If you would like to fill those out, that is a way we can keep in touch with you. And we also have these cards to write any joys or sorrows on that you would like shared at the end of the service. The opportunity is also to come up and share them, but if you would like to share them, have one of us share them, this is an opportunity to do that. Our guest speaker today is Jeanay Johnson. She is in the 4th year of seminary and is the Director of Religious Education and Communications at UU Saint Petersburg. She was born in Los Angeles, California, and raised in Saint Petersburg, Florida. She has worked with children for over 15 years, from child care to visual arts, along with her vast experience in spiritual development, journalism, law enforcement, communications, and civic engagement. She utilizes her love for the emotional intelligence and mental development of children to encourage their innovations. She has been involved with UU St. Pete since 2017. She is also in her 4th year of seminary, attending Starr King School of Ministry for a master's degree in Divinity. Welcome. Today, the title of her service is The Joy of Feeling Our Emotions. Join us as we explore the joy of experiencing emotions through the practice of mindfulness. Discover the profound importance of emotional intelligence and its transformative impact on our relationships and interactions. In a world where emotions often guide our actions and reactions, understanding and managing them is crucial for fostering compassion, empathy, and harmony within our community. Our music today is provided by our music director, Bonnie Whitehurst. Again, welcome. Our opening music is Peace Like a River, number 100 in the Gray Hymnal. And you may either stand or sit, whatever you're most comfortable doing.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Thank you all for having me here. My name is Jeanay Johnson. For those online, I am a woman. I'm a human being experiencing life through the eyes of a Cameroonian American woman. My eyes are the color of deep mocha, and a woman never reveals her age. So with that being said, thank you. Today we are going to get into some talk of emotions, and the joy of emotions is that we can experience emotions that we can't even put a word to. Like for instance, when you're hearing a song, your favorite song from years ago, and you hear it, and that feeling you have right in the pit of your consciousness, your soul, your heart, whatever translates for you, you feel it. And that feeling, there's no words, but you know that you feel it. So the beauty of emotions is that we don't always have the name or the word for it, but we know what it feels like for us as individuals. So I look forward to embarking on this journey with you all this morning and encapsulating those emotions. And just for fun, we're gonna make some faces because I'm very interactive when I speak, like, hey, make a happy face, make a sad face. But here I am today. Look, happy faces already. But here I am today, and I'm grateful to be here. My daughter wanted to come today, but she was burnt out, tired, so I let her sleep in. So she'll probably wake up at noon today. With that being said, I would like to bring Elaine up to light the chalice.
We will now light the chalice and read our covenant. We will light the chalice with these words by Eric Hepburn: "Love remains the center." We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. The covenant. Read the covenant together. We strive to look for and encourage the best in each other
as we move
towards justice, peace, and love for both ourselves and the world. And when we fall short, we will seek understanding, reconciliation, and a return to covenant. We will now sing Spirit of Life, number 123 in the Gray Hymnal.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
So I gave you all the heads up already that I am very interactive and you're going to be making facial expressions today, okay? So don't be shy. No one can see you but me, so everyone's looking forward. Unless you look back, you know, you're fine. You're fine. So today we're going on an adventure called the Magical Garden of Feelings, where we will learn about mindfulness, emotions, and the power of being patient. So let's close our eyes first and take a deep breath in. Now keep your eyes closed. Imagine we're walking into a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers and friendly animals. Once upon a time, in the Garden of Feelings, there was a young rabbit named Riley. Now, Riley was curious and loved exploring, but sometimes he would get so excited or upset he didn't know how to handle his emotions. Now, raise your hand, keep your eyes closed. Have you ever felt so excited or upset that you didn't know what to do? Thank you, hands down. One sunny day, Riley was hopping around when he stumbled upon an old wise turtle named Tessa. Now, Tessa was sitting peacefully under a large sunflower. "Hello, Riley." Tessa greeted him with a smile. What brings you here today?" "I'm feeling all sorts of things, Tessa," said Riley. "Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm mad, and sometimes I'm just too impatient to wait for anything." "Can you show me your happy face?" Eyes closed. No peeking. "Can you show me your mad face?" How about your impatient face? How about you, Munshin? Show me your faces. Eyes open. Tessa chuckled gently. "Feelings can be like the weather, changing all the time. Would you like to learn a special trick to help with your feelings?" Riley nodded eagerly. Yes, please." "All right, it's called the mindful flower. Now first, find a quiet spot and imagine a flower in front of you." Now again, let's close our eyes for a moment and picture a beautiful flower, your favorite flower. For transparency, my favorite flowers are orchids. I grow orchids at home. I love sunflowers, plumerias, petunias, butterfly pea. How does that flower smell? Have you had that flower as a tea? Now Tessa continued, "Take a deep breath in, everyone, like you're smelling the flower, and hold for a moment, then slowly let it out. And imagine your worries floating away like the petals in the wind." Riley tried it and felt a wave of calm rush over him. "Wow, I feel better already." It's funny how all you have to do is take a breath, and you can calm that anxiety right down, calm that uneasiness right down, calm that impatience right down. Like, what can I do in this moment? So from that day on, Tessa told Riley, "Remember, Riley, whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can use the mindful flower to help you find patience and peace." And from that day on, Riley practiced mindfulness every day. He learned that by being patient and understanding his emotions, even though if he couldn't find the words, he knew what it felt like, and he can enjoy those moments, the spectrum of those emotions. And he can return easily to the Garden of Feelings. Now you may open your eyes. Welcome back, y'all. Now, in this moment, we're going to sing our lovely child away to her own nursery.
Our church is self-supporting, and now is the time in the service where we take an offering for the work and welfare of this church. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. You may mail your offering to our website, uutarpon.org, or place your offering in the basket.
Happiness is 2 kinds of ice cream, finding your escape key, telling the time. Happiness is learning to whistle, tying your shoe for the very first time. Happiness is playing the drum in your own school band, and happiness is walking hand in hand. Happiness is 5 different crayons, knowing a secret, climbing a tree. Happiness is finding a nickel, catching a firefly, setting him free. Happiness is being alone every now and then, and happiness is coming home again. Happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. And happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you. Happiness is having a sister, sharing a sandwich, getting along. Happiness is singing together when day is through, and happiness is those who sing with you. Happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. For happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you.
Number 537 in our gray hymnal holds a section of short poems and a plethora of writings and so forth that are wonderful for reference. You don't have to go for it. But I like this one because it stuck out when I mentioned talking about seasons earlier. We're all familiar that Florida really just has 2 seasons, occasionally a couple in between. But up north, you get to experience the rich and vastness of 4 seasons, like true autumn and watching the leaves change colors, and true winter and having to leave your sink running just a little bit so the pipes don't freeze. We know what those are. So I like to look at Earth as holding the emotions. So number 537, our whole system. Small as is our whole system compared with the infinitude of creation. Brief as is our life compared with the cycles of time, we are so tethered by all the beautiful dependencies of law that not only the sparrow's fall is felt to the uttermost bound, but the vibrations set in motion by the words that we utter reach through all space, and the tremor is felt through all time. By Maria Mitchell. Now, again, we're going to take an imaginary trip because it's important to feel and be safe in a space like this. Everyone knows everyone, but to feel these emotions. Find a comfortable place in your mind and try to not touch anything but your hands. And what's really feeling? Is my finger feeling the other finger? What's happening? What is this? But feel your hands, whether you put your hands on your legs or hands together, or just hold yourself. And we're going to close our eyes again and go to this very special place. Now, we have our own special place. For me, when I was a child, my special place would be my neighbor's house. She had a garden, and the flowers are just so beautiful. So you go to this place where you can be by yourself to think, to feel, and remember. For me, it was the garden. For you, it might be a hillside on a sunny day when no one is around, or it might be your bed under warm covers, or a secret corner in your house, or under a table. Or maybe you can remember a time when someone you loved held you in their arms and let you rest, and you felt safe, and it was quiet. And you can feel that way now if you wish, and just imagine that you're in that special place. Your home is who you are. It's who you carry everywhere with you. And you might remember the smells of your place. Those smells can trigger some wonderful memories. I remember one day I was in the laundromat, and out of nowhere I smelled maple syrup. How is that possible? And it reminded me of my aunt, and in that moment, tears rolled down my eyes because I'm like, she's not here anymore, but I smelled that maple syrup as if she was cooking right next to me in a laundromat where you would smell bounce and detergent. You feel the warmth against your skin, or the coolness if you love the snow, or a soothing sound like water, or just the silence of your breath. And you can hear yourself breathing. That in and out. You have no idea what's really happening on the inside of your body every time you take an inhale and exhale. All the intricacies at work, those small atoms and cells, everything's at work. Every time you inhale, exhale, remember the feelings that you have. If they are sad or angry, you might want to talk to someone else about them. All the happy and warm feelings that you have, you can remember them and hold them because they're yours. Think about how nice it is always to have a special place inside you and make you feel happy. And you can always feel that if you want to, but also be okay when it's not. You can feel all the feelings you want to feel. It is important to relish in those moments and let them flow. Thank you.
Should have stayed. Were there signs I ignored? Can I help you not to hurt anymore? We saw brilliance when the world was asleep. There are things that we can have, but not keep. If they say, who cares if someone's light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. The reminders pull the floor from your feet. In the kitchen, one more chair than you need. Oh, and you're angry, and you should be. It's not fair. Just 'cause you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. If they say, who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares if someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. Who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares if one's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do.
Bonnie, thank you so much. That song was beautiful. I know you're all wondering, who is this lady and why does she keep making me close my eyes? Well, the trick in making you close your eyes is to make sure you're centered in this moment. You have no choice. You can't close your eyes when you're driving, that's dangerous. But you're sitting here with your eyes closed. It forces you to be here in this moment. And here is a wonderful place to be. What is emotional intelligence? What does that even mean? All we knew for a while was just IQ, and we know how that looks, but what is emotional intelligence? What does that pertain to? When we hear the word emotions, some of us might think of how emotions are personified. For instance, there's this movie out called Inside Out, and I encourage you all to watch it, because they did a fantastic job with personifying emotions using characters and cartoon. The kids didn't catch it, but I was bawling in the theater, personally. My daughter kept patting my back like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yes and no. That was my honest answer, because I felt it. Others might associate emotions with the idea of being too emotional. We've all encountered the stereotypes, like the notion that men shouldn't express emotions. Men can't cry because you're not a man if you cry. But are emotions regulated by gender? No, we're human beings having this experience. We're gonna feel them. And then women. Women are too emotional, so some folks don't even listen. It's like, I don't want to hear it. She's talking. But when we consider what emotions truly are, do we limit them to our comfort zones or what we want to accept? Or are we open to learning and experiencing the full range of what emotions can be and what they can represent? So for instance, when I mentioned the music earlier, I know for a fact several of you had a song instantly play in your heads, because your smile was just uncanny. It was right there. I'm like, I know it. Here we are in the year 2024, and if the last decade hasn't shifted our emotions, I know the last 4 have challenged us more than we ever thought possible. Who were we prior to 2020? Doesn't matter, I'm not going there. Who we are today in this second half of 2024. The beautiful thing is that we get to decide, it's choice. Now we can, who we are. We have always had the power of choice in determining who we are and how we navigate our lives and our relationships. Now, the word choice can be complex because they can get filtered on what our idea of choice is. Choice can face this. We can often face situations where we must choose between a choice and a mistake. 2 very different things. What's the difference? A choice is often made deliberately with the awareness of the consequences, or sometimes just ignoring them altogether, whether for personal gain or for heroic reasons. A mistake, on the other hand, is a decision made without fully considering the potential consequences. It's an honest mistake. For instance, a child playing with the plug. We've all had this happen at least once. Leave it alone. They touch it again, just a quick little shock. Okay, that was a choice. The mistake is, oh, this is a stove, touch. That's a mistake. You figure out the hard way often. We all have at some point. Either way, we have the power to do both, and it's okay to do both, as we know in our lives so far. Emotional intelligence involves being aware of our internal filters as well. We all have stories. We all have origin stories, like our comic book characters or the movies we've seen or TV shows we've seen. Somebody always has some story as to why they do the thing that they do. I'm going to keep it real brief. Batman and his whole story was because of what happened to his parents. Now, his origin could have went 1 or 2 ways. He wanted to help people. Villains would take that archetype and go somewhere else. It's choice. Our stories don't define us. How we choose to be defined or how we choose to move forward with what we experience, that's where the power lies. How we choose to live season to season, it's up to us. Sometimes I feel the fear of uncertainty stinging clear. I can't help but ask myself how much I let the fear take the wheel and steer. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. Now, I apologize, it's an awesome song, but I don't remember who sang it. But when I heard that song, she spoke to the emotions of fear and what fear was like, and how we freeze in the moment of fear, or we respond erratically and what that was like. We've had those experiences. Emotions are a spectrum. It's not just happy or sad. There are words in between that, again, we don't always know how to translate them, but we know that it's here. Whether we live on a flat surface or we live on a globe, we are connected to some form of covenant, as we read this morning, that is innately embedded in our essence. We know it's wrong to lie. We know it's wrong to steal. Someone doesn't have to say that. We just innately knew it. But people make the choice to do the other thing. The same thing about, let me go back. The Buddhists follow the words of the Buddha, speaking about the 5 mindfulness trainings that are a real practice of love and compassion. If anyone familiar with Buddhism at all? We are aware of Hinduism, a given name, originating out of India, regarding the chakra system and its connection from our earthly bodies to our spiritual selves, with spinning vortexes of energy connecting our emotional experience that have marked us, like Inside Out, for example, when they explained core memories, those solid moments that did it for us, that shifted us. For me, it was when my parents divorced. My process on how I was interacting with people was super guarded, because if they couldn't make it, why should I trust you? But those people I had experiences with, they didn't know that, but that was my filter that I imprinted in myself. I was a child, I didn't have control, but as an adult, I went back to those feelings and revisited that and was like, oh, that's why. I was just a child. I didn't know that people can also not get along anymore and choose to part. That's part of the human experience. But as a child in that point, I internalized that. And so with the traumas and filters, we all have those things that we have been marked by, and we move and navigate amongst one another based off of those traumas and filters. The importance with emotional intelligence is acknowledging those filters. No one else is responsible for your triggers. And a lot of people say, oh, you triggered me. Okay, I'm sorry that you need to work on that. But if what I'm saying is truth without disrespect, that trigger is your responsibility to navigate and figure out. But I'm not responsible for those emotions as long as it's not disrespectful. We all know it breaches disrespect. But going back to Hinduism, our root connects to our familial dynamics. Anyone familiar with the chakras? The sense of security. Our sacral connects to our passions. Our solar plexus connects to our inner willpower, our ability to believe in ourselves. Our heart, dealing with love dynamics in our lives, both internally felt and externally given. Our throat chakra, speaking our inner truths and speaking up for ourselves. Our third eye that connects us to our inner knowing, and the crown that expands it all. I tell you, these children's shows are really nailing it. The show called Avatar personified this beautifully. The children won't get it, but I feel like the writers are trying to get something to us. Look it up later, I encourage it. The Egyptians are familiar with the 42 laws of Ma'at, which encompasses some of the aspects that are also seen within the 10 Commandments. Essentially, the rules are embedded in everything that we practice and everything we do. And within UUism, there are the 8 principles that create the framework that we abide and do our absolute best to follow. I hope so. There's a pattern around the world that reframes this essence of our being that touches our emotions and those around us. So for instance, when we wake up in the morning, sometimes a bit late, we rush and we're moving erratically fast. What happens en route to where we're going? Can anybody say it? If we're rushing, we leave the house, what happens? Traffic. Somebody stopping at a yellow light. It's like, you could have made it, move! And now you're exacerbating this frustration. It's not their fault you left the house late, but now you're stuck in traffic. Stuck in traffic. Now that's a hoot because we're a part of the traffic. How did we so quickly separate ourselves from the experience that everyone is sharing? The frequency that we carried with us leaving the house of frustration and anger is staggered energy, it's stuck energy. So what do you think repeats? We inadvertently created a path of more frustration in the repetition of red lights, and during our drive, we exude frustrations to the drivers in front of us, and again, separating ourselves from the collective. So we're so much better than everybody else trying to get to work, trying to get to school, trying to get to the doctor's appointment, trying to get to wherever it is. Well, now we're better because they're not moving fast enough for us. Or you got some jagaloon behind you doing the absolute most, and you left early, but they're doing the most. Just like, hey, chill out, man. We're going to get there on time. Like, I want to get there. But in those moments, we fail to recognize the connection between ourselves and everyone around us because of the idea of separation. If we leave early, we have time to take the scenic route, time to enjoy the view of the sun just before it grows smaller and hotter in the sky. Gosh, we know it gets hotter in the sky. But when it's that gigantic tangerine and it's low on the horizon, that is a beautiful sight to see in the morning. How often do we get to just relish in that at a red light? Not like, oh, when is this light going to turn green? But really like, oh, wow, that sun is beautiful. Gosh, that's beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay, let me focus. Or even the additional moments that, because we get night rainfall, but those cloud formations are absolutely breathtaking. Like, artists can do a wonderful job at depicting them, but when you actually see those cloud formations, just like, okay, whoever the artist is up there is really working overtime. Just admire that for a moment and even have fun with it. What do you see in the clouds? I see a cow, I see a dog, I see a pony. Like, just have fun with it. Even if you leave the house frustrated, try to find that singular moment where you can look up and say, okay, what do I see? And take a deep breath and try to bring that anxiety down, because you don't want to go in the office and deal with such and such and who's and who and what's and what. You already got to deal with a lot of things. So what can you do for yourself to bring you back to center? Now, don't get it wrong. I am not trying to preach perfection, and I'm not preaching toxic positivity. You can't be happy all the time. And that is okay. It's important to acknowledge that we are a spectrum of emotions and feelings. It's also important to acknowledge that other people have feelings, as irrational as they could be. How often, when our minds are going a mile a minute, do we ask ourselves, what am I even thinking about? I know I do. Guilty as charged. When I ask that question to myself, all of the thoughts just stop. I call it the Oval Office upstairs because it's just like the right hemisphere is thinking this, the left hemisphere is thinking this, the diencephalon connects the two. I'm also a massage therapist, sorry. Anatomy is my favorite subject. But everything is just going till me asks, what am I thinking about? The power of being aware of your emotions brings you to center so that you can be fully present in this now. Hence why I had you close your eyes. When you're happy, you express, I'm happy. When you're upset, you express, I'm upset. But in truth, you're experiencing a temporary state of being that shifted your equilibrium to reflect an experience you're having that you have reacted to. When somebody asks how you're doing, you don't say, hi, I'm Bob. It's like, no, how are you doing? How are you feeling? You name an emotion, right? It's temporary. Now, remember when I spoke about filters and traumas? Our traumas shape and mold how we choose to react within these emotions. So right now, wherever you are, at any point in time, you are feeling an emotion. Can you identify it? Do you feel better when you can? Extend patience with yourself as you learn to feel these emotions. And a lot of times, most of our lives, we've never really been told that we can actually feel emotions. Sometimes we try to hide it. Any parents in here? We certainly don't want them to know that we're stressed because we don't want them to feel bad. So we try to protect them by not expressing those emotions. Plenty of times my daughter has gone to bed at night, I'm just sitting at the table just crying, and then I can hear her door open. I'm like, crap. Hey, baby. Like nothing is wrong. Unbeknownst to her, I am stressed out, but I have to feel this emotion. And in that moment of solitude, I'm vulnerable to feel it. The other day, actually, vulnerable space here, she just leaned on my shoulder and started crying. What's wrong? I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, it's okay. Sometimes we don't know. And that is okay. I think nowadays we've gotten to the point where we need a word to define anything, but if we'd known anything for sure, English does not have the most words to really fully define our feelings. Sometimes we can look at a feeling and translate it to a color. Like I'm sad, I'm feeling blue. I'm angry, it always goes to red for whatever reason. I'm happy, it's yellow. I'm feeling pretty, it's pink. I'm feeling like nature, it's green. Like we can translate it in that way. But with that being said, I ask you to extend patience with yourself as you learn to feel and fully acknowledge the emotions, and also be patient with kids. These kids today do not have a point of reference for how things used to be prior to a certain time period that we all experience. They don't have that baseline of understanding, but we do. And they look to us for some type of guidance, whether they're respectful or not. They're looking to us to have the answers. And sometimes we don't have the answers, but the honesty of saying, hey, I don't know, but let me find out and I'll come back to you. These kids today, a lot of them are really lost. Because some of us as adults have disconnected from, they'll be fine, they'll figure it out. It's like, it was hard for us. Did we forget how hard it was? But their baselines are currently being established now. So guess who they're watching? Uh-oh. It's us. Perfect example, when a kid is in the back seat and you're raging on about traffic, guess who's their front row audience, their front row? It's me. I'm going off. I said a couple sentence enhancers. That's another way to say curse words. And my daughter's watching me from the back seat. What is the example I'm setting for how I'm regulating my emotions because I left late, because I'm stuck in traffic? They can see. So how can we be present for them? How can we be present for ourselves? And not just the children that we're interacting with, but our inner children. We're still there. The little one that I know for a fact everybody scraped their knee at least once. Please raise your hand. Knees, knuckles, elbows, something. We've done something. That little person is still here too. No matter how old you are, I do not care. That little person is sitting right here like, hey, do you remember me? You remember me? I'm still here. Can you talk to me? Can you play a song that we used to like? Can we color a picture and not color in the lines on purpose? Can we scribble scrabble? Can we write our name with the opposite hand of which we write with so we can just see what it was like to write our name as a child? Tune into those moments and reconnect with that inner you so we can stay connected to each other. We're here in this space together because we choose to be. So in closing, whether we believe in an all-knowing, an all-creating being that began with Adam and Eve, or Shiva, Brahma, forging the soils for the primordial waters of this realm, or our world resides on the back of a turtle, we all share this sacred space at the same time. We are experiencing a quantum reality in this singular point in time all the time. Each and every one of you will remember today and every day from your perspectives, from your memory, and each of them will be different from one another, thus creating another memory for the person that you're sharing the experience with. Now, isn't that fascinating? It continues on and on and on. I'm not going to drag it. But here we are, universally, having a multiversal experience every time we join together. So what will you do differently with how you navigate your realities? Will you, instead of reacting angrily to a person who is angered, just ask them, are you okay? But not out of pity and not trying to fulfill something within you, but just really ask, are you okay? Like the lady at the checkout, she's just beep, beep, and it's just like, hey, are you all right today? And then you'll see in that moment, no, I wasn't supposed to work today. Or no, I was supposed to get off 30 minutes ago, but this person called off and I'm stuck here. Just like, okay, well, I hope everything works out for you. Just those little things, because we're all going through so much today. We gotta just pat somebody on the shoulder, like, hey, I'm here. Even though I'm not always here, I'm here, you know? So instead of answering when somebody asks you, how are you doing? Our default answer is, what is our default answer when somebody asks you, how are you doing? Fine and good. I swear, those are our favorite two words. There's over 500,000 words in the English dictionary, and we land on fine and good, and we are lying most of the time. Like, what is that? When people ask me, how am I doing? I say, I'm here. And then people automatically say, oh, it's okay. I'm like, no, I'm here. Why is that so sad? Like, did I say it in a different tone? So I try to do it with more sprite. I'm here. Then it's like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, wait, what's happening here? Here is where I'm always at every point. I'm here. How are you? I'm here. I'm here. Mind, body, and spirit. I'm here. Our mind can wander. Our hearts can think. Our gut can provide insight, but our vessel is here. How can we center ourselves every day when people ask us how we are doing? We can answer, I am here. So how are you doing? I'm here. I told you I was going to get you talking today. And that's right. You are here. We are here. And here is such a beautiful place to be. And on that note, I'd like to thank you, and I'll pass it to Barney.
Our final hymn is number 354 in the gray hymnal, We Laugh, We Cry. Number 354.
Within
fruits of what we find, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a joy being together, and in our search for truth, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
I would like to thank you again so very much for having me today. I hope that some element of what I shared touched you in some way. Just like, I'm gonna think about that later. I'm gonna plant these seeds right now so you guys can think about it later. But again, thank you very much. And I implore you to reach to that inner child and just remind them that you're still here and say hello. Why not? Elaine? Child is extinguishing, correct?
Smile though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. If you just smile. Light up your face with gladness and chase away the sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, there's a time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll feel that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
We hope that you found meaning in today's service. I know that the next time I'm in traffic, I am going to try and channel Jeanay. Because I am one of those people that get very frustrated in traffic. And thank you, Bonnie, for the music, as always. I don't know how every week you find the perfect music to go with the theme, so thank you. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer our comfort to the afflicted and love to those who are lonely, and our wish for all to be safe.